The stage of insecurity in Nigeria today is very heartbreaking. But the sad news is that there is no projection of any solution in sight, which means that what we are crying about today may actually escalate. Signs are showing that things may not improve in the coming days, weeks, months. So that has created an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty across the country. So part of what RULAC is doing today, together with other civil society organizations, is to demand that the federal government of Nigeria rises up to its responsibility of protecting life and property. The Constitution says that the security and welfare of all Nigerians is a primary purpose of government. There is nothing, the level of insecurity in the country does not show that the government is alive to that constitutional obligation. And it's a very, very unfortunate development.
Looking at what would have been a better parameter to measure the level of insecurity in terms of, can we look back and then put one to one to say it was like this before, this is where we expected it to be?
Okay, there is no particular parameter to measure the level of insecurity, but one way, at least ordinary Nigerians were using to gauge the level of insecurity. Years ago, when people wanted to travel to any part of the country, we were complaining only about bad roads, potholes. That was the major disincentive that could discourage travelers, to explore other means of transportation. But today, the problem is no longer that the roads are bad. We are even asking, let the roads be bad, but let it be safe, so that we can find a way to meander through the potholes and get to our destination. If you decide that you don't want to go by road, you decide to go by train. We heard about what happened to those who are using train. A young doctor in her prime. And the worst part of it is that when people complain, that it looks as though some people are determined to shout people down when they are expressing their grievances. And that was what happened to that young doctor. She expressed, and she just alerted those who knew her, probably to ensure help comes to her, reaches her. People taunted her, people laughed at her, people mocked and jeered at her, and she died. That was not the expectation any citizen should have from her country. So these are the ways we are gauging that people can't travel by road, people can't travel by train, people can't travel by any other means. And if you decide to travel by air, recently airlines doubled the rate of airfares. How many Nigerians can afford 100K for a trip? How many Nigerians? The percentage of Nigerians that can afford it is still a lot less than maybe 1 to 2% of the entire population. That is why we are calling on the government, civil society organization, good-spirited Nigerians are calling on the government to rise up. Enough of the complacency, enough of the inaction, gross inaction, the type of inaction that is very painful. That is the call RULAC and other organizations are making today. We are Nigerians and we love Nigeria. So when you ask a Nigerian, is Nigeria a failed state? Because of the love we have for Nigeria, we wouldn't agree. But all indicators are pointing in that direction. Weak governance systems, weak security institutions, weak law enforcement mechanisms, total, almost near absence of political leadership. When you have all of those indicators, scientists, sociologists, researchers have told us that these are indicators of a failed state. But our love, the spirit of nationalism and patriotism in us, we are just clinging up to a ray of hope. Even if that hope is non-existent, we are clinging on to it, hoping that someday things can turn around.